Welcome to Queer Next, the podcast that puts the yeehaw in y'all means all. I'm your host, Beck.
And I'm your host, Dash. Welcome to today's episode. What do you think it would have been like growing up with gay parents as you are?
Trying to imagine either of my parents as a gay person is just mind-blowing. I can't even fathom that. So I can't imagine what it would have been like. The gender roles were real in my family.
Yeah. And it's hard to it's hard to even try to think about a question like that without because what you have to work with is the parents that you grew up with. And so then you're like, no.
Yeah. There were rumors that my biological father dabbled in the gay arts, but
the queer arts.
Yes. But I don't know anything confirmed. Mom said that she found out he was going to the Stonewall, which was my first gay bar. And then that's when she decided that she was done and she was going to divorce him.
Oh.
But that's all I know is that he was going to the gay bar. I don't know. I never wanted to ask.
Yeah, which it could have been true, but it also, going to a gay bar doesn't make a person gay necessarily.
Right.
But also, I think sometimes when people are already checked out of a relationship, they're just looking for that one little thing.
Well, my dad was a serial cheater too. Yeah. So
that's funny because that wasn't enough for her. It had to be that he was gay.
Yeah, like, because that's the way that it was done in the 60s.
Straight people, oh my God, they're not okay.
Yeah, domestic violence was a thing that was just kept under the rug because my dad was a very violent man on top of that, you know? And my mom stayed with him for 17 years. And apparently he got a lot better in his last years. His wife told me that he hadn't hit her in probably a decade when he passed. So he had, I guess, found Jesus or however that works.
Right. I remember there was a family the family that had the farm that we spent a lot of time on. They were, oh man, it was a fight every time we were there, it was a fight. And he was brutal. He wasn't even trying to hide it from the kids. And so she was just like, first of all, you're going to kill me one day. Like he knocked out her teeth. She was so small. He was like 6'5", and he did drywall for a living. So he was just built like a brick shit house.
Yeah, my dad was a construction guy himself. Ironwork.
The danger that he was going to literally kill her one day.
My dad hid in the trunk one time when my mom was trying to leave him with a shotgun and said he was going to kill us all. Like my dad was real, like a real crazy dude.
Yeah, this guy was too. And so after that, I didn't see him anymore until David's funeral. And for some reason, he cornered me at David's funeral and told me how he had got sober and he didn't beat his new wife. And I was like, what is this? It's part confession, part excuse. And why here? Why now? Why me? Why do you care what I think of you?
Right.
I don't know. Oh, this Brisket locked himself in the bedroom and he's like howling. Hang on.
Okay.
Oh, it was Ziggy. The window's open and so it blew the door closed on her.
Hey, that's a good idea. Hang on, let me crack my window.
Did you get your tickets?
My ticket? What tickets?
To the gun show?
Front row, baby.
I've always wanted to do that joke. Oh, man. That's from The Office. Well, I don't think they invented it, but that's what made me remember that joke was The Office. Did you ever watch that show?
No, I tried. I just didn't get the humor.
I didn't watch it either, freely, but it's always on. It was always on somewhere for a time there. And I have a friend or two friends who are obsessed with it. Like they watch it over and over again. And anytime I see it, I'll like chuckle because they'll have it on sometimes when I'm over there and I'll chuckle at it. And then they're like, well, if you find it funny, why don't you like it? And I was like, that's a valid question. It's because I don't care what happens. I don't care what happens to these people. I never watch a frame of it that makes me go, I wonder what's going to happen next. Like, this isn't for me because nothing happens. And similar to Seinfeld, I can't fucking stand Seinfeld.
Yeah, me too.
I much preferred like Parks and Rec over Office, and people will often like juxtapose the two because Parks and Rec is loaded with character and story and even commentary on institutions and power dynamics and politics and stuff. But anyway, the person who makes that joke in The Office is Rainn Wilson's character, Dwight. And recently, Rainn Wilson said that, The Office wouldn't be able to be made in this current climate of political correctness, and everybody's roasted him for it, which is good because that's so fucking stupid. The Office was the most nothing burger of a show. Does he think they were doing like edgelord humor on The Office?
Right. They just came out, and I think it got canceled already. There was a show called The Paper that was supposed to be the new Office, but it was set in Toledo, Ohio. There was a local newspaper. I watched an episode of it because it was set in Toledo, and it was bad.
The Paper, it does look like they're really trying to be Office-like.
Yeah.
It's got Oscar Nunez in it, who was on The Office. Oh, it's a spinoff. Okay. So it's part of that whole universe.
Right.
Well, it hasn't been wuzzed yet on the Wikipedia page, so maybe it hasn't been canceled yet.
Maybe. Nobody I know is watching it.
I mean, maybe they're just banking on The Office folks to want to see it.
Yeah. Have you noticed how many shows get set in Toledo?
A lot of shows get set in Ohio in general.
Yeah.
Because so they'll be set in Ohio, Illinois, Indiana. And it's because that is the middle American sort of zeitgeist. There's jokes about it. So that one of my favorite jokes in Futurama was about the television industry. And there's some robots that are like giving input on whether a show will be successful. And one of them goes, "But will it play in Peoria?" And that's that's kind of what they were talking about. Like Glee is set in Lima, Ohio.
Yeah, I know. That's up here too.
But the joke about that show was that it was a stereotype of America. Like even when we try to do diversity in television, we're tokenizing, we're stereotyping. I'm not a Glee stan or even really a Glee defender, but I do get irritated when people critique the show because all of the characters are stereotypes. And it's like, correct. Yeah, that's the point. They're all stereotypes because it's kind of a commentary on how we do television.
I use it often in class to talk about the social homophobia, like the idea of being gay but not wanting to be caught, about how the football player beat up on the gay kid and how that does protest too much. We talk about that in class. Sometimes
Cool.
The people who are most anti-gay are the queerest ones out there.
Do you give them the studies on it too?
No, I didn't know there were studies on it.
Oh, yeah. There's literally proof. There is science about how homophobia, extreme homophobia to the point that it becomes your personality, just being an expression of self-loathing homosexuality.
We do talk about the Kinsey scale and how we brought sex into the laboratory and things like that. And I always say, so if you're not gay, you still have some time.
That's right. So there's a TikTok video of a mom talking to her little girl, and her little girl's like, "What's gay?" And she's, I would guess, maybe 4 or 5. And the mom's like, "Oh, okay. So it's when a boy loves another boy and a girl loves another girl." And, she did great, I think. Especially for the way a kid will just pop that on you.
Right.
And then the kid's like, "Are you gay?" And she said, "I, unfortunately, am not gay. I'm married to your dad." And the little girl got sad. And she goes, "That means I'm probably not gay." And her mom was like, "Well, you could be. We don't know." It was so funny. And
I think I saw that video. Now that I hear what that part of it, I believe I saw that video.
So endearing to see her go like, "How do I do this?" Okay. Like that's how you do it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like a kid saying like, "Well, I guess I'll never be a fighter jet pilot." It's like, well, not with that attitude. Same goes for being gay.
If you work hard and
You'll be rewarded.
become one of God's special chosen children. I always say, why would he have made us so cute and adorable if he didn't like us? You know?
Why is gay a synonym for happy?
Exactly. I know why it's a synonym for awkward because of me.
You know how it says in the Bible that you're not allowed to take more than one trip to bring in all the groceries from the car?
I am aware of that passage, yes.
Right. I believe it's Efficiencies 11:12.
First efficient.
I was thinking that is a way to describe my particular brand of OCD because that applies to my entire life. Everything I do has to follow that scripture. Every little thing, like I don't know. I don't want to get too in the weeds. However, it's becoming a challenge as I get older and have to take more and more fucking medications because I have to take them all in one. And it's a palm full of pills. And so this morning I caught myself, I was like, and it like, I throw them in and it's like a mouthful of pills. It's getting disturbing.
Do you ever swallow one and there's one left behind? And then you have to hurry and take a second drink?
Oh, yeah.
Especially the tiny ones, they get stuck in there.
After I got sort of struck by lightning, the tissue in my ear was really damaged. I had to take prednisone, I guess. It was steroids. And they were these like fast dissolve. And the most disgusting thing, I can still remember the fucking taste of those pills.
Yeah.
And I was young, and so not used to taking pills. And I remember it was such a struggle. Like I would be like gagging, couldn't get it down. My mom did the thing where she like crushed it up, mixed it with water and sugar in a spoon. And I tried to do it that way. That wasn't enough. That was brutal.
The worst medicine I ever had to take. I'm allergic to contrast dye. So if you get an MRI or whatever with contrast dye, I nearly die. Ugh. That's how we learned I was allergic to it because we did it. And so when you're allergic to that, it's when you have to have something like that done, they give you an alternative. And the flavor I had apple yogurt. Bleh. It was gross, but I got my test done. So
why would they choose those flavors?
I don't know. I don't know. But that's what I remember about it is how disgusting apple yogurt was.
Yeah.
It's a drink because it was in a bottle. It wasn't like yogurt.
When mom was in the hospital, for whatever reason, like she couldn't eat and they were having trouble getting, calories in her. And so they were giving her those boosts or Ensures or something, like a shake. And all she could talk about was how disgusting they were. I was like, what? And I don't doubt it, especially because she was like, it's room temperature. Why would you give me this? It's like pretending to be some sort of like milkshake and you give it to me room temperature. What are you doing?
Shannon and I laughed. We almost cried a little while ago. Like literally tears were coming out of our eyes. And it was so stupid. We were talking about how it would be funny to have a wiener dog and name it Peter. And then have another one called Willie. And then I suggested the last name Long while she said it should be Johnson. So we were like, all right. So we got Peter Long Johnson and Willie Long Johnson.
I was just about to say Long is the middle name.
It struck us so funny. We cried. We were laughing so hard. That's why we're still good together because we can sit on the couch and laugh like that. 23 years later, we're still belly laughing over dick jokes.
Which is just proof that dick jokes are only funny to the person who makes them. I laughed until I cried. I was wheezing and coughing this morning as well. But I live alone, so... but it was because I was watching YouTube. There was a guy... It's like this genre of YouTube video called Let's Play, where... they are just playing games, kind of giving commentary on the experience, and the screen shows us the game they're playing. And some of them are like serious gamers and whatever. I don't care about those. And I don't even know who this guy was, but or what game he was playing. It was called The Professional, is what it said in the description. And it's a burglar heist game and I don't know anything else about the rest of the game because I only watched this like 5-minute segment of him trying to apparently manipulate every single joint on this person's body to get through some lasers in a museum, like to steal the Hope Diamond or something.
Right.
And so literally he had to like position fingers, hand, wrist, knees, ankles, head with like click and drag, and then do something that caused it to try to move. And it was just him like putting this thing in ridiculous positions, trying to get it to like flop over across the lasers. And he just couldn't do it for 5 straight minutes. He couldn't get this thing to move. And the way it was flopping, it reminded me of that quapping game. Do you remember quapping?
No, I don't remember that.
It's QWOP, and it's called that because the QWOP letters are on, the top outside of the keyboard, and you use those to try to control a running pace for a little person on a track. And it was like each of their feet, their legs, and hands and stuff like that. And nobody could do it. It took, I would say, the internet. This was probably 15 years ago. Let me Google this. Let me see if we can still play Quap. 2008 ragdoll-based browser video game. So there's a name for this. Okay, there's a website. Let me give myself a viral. Oh my God, I'm playing it right now. Okay, I wonder. Oh, didn't we find out we can't share screen in this fucking?
That's so dumb.
I know. I don't know about this software, but whatever. Anyway, we landed on the wheel of what Havie told us we needed to bring some YouTube things that made us laugh. The YouTube landscape is vast. I love the 2 to 3 hour deep dives on shit. Like I'll put one of those on and sit and watch about something. And a lot of times it's something that I don't give a shit about. It's really interesting that I will do that on YouTube and nowhere else. I take the decision of what to watch very seriously on every app except for YouTube, where I'm like, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah. I watch some crazy stuff on YouTube. Like there's this one channel called Visual Venture. He's trying to get to 2.5 million subscribers, so maybe we'll help him do that. But he has like the darkest channels. He does deep dives on different slices of internet history, and I find it really interesting.
Cool.
I watch a lot of That Chapter. I don't know if you've ever heard of That Chapter. He's a guy who is either Irish or Scottish. I've never deciphered which he is, but he does American crime stories, murders mostly.
Yep, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
He has kind of a sense of humor too.
Yeah, his name's Mike.
He's on a comedy channel, but like he's not dry about it. And I like the dry ones are fine. Like I watched Dreading and Explore With Us. The funny thing about, how Netflix has really gotten into true crime documentaries and shit lately because they realize they go viral on TikTok. They're just straight going through those channels and pulling from the cases that they cover. So like I saw the case of this Taylor woman that
with a car crash.
No, that's Mackenzie Shrillo. I saw her, but her case is more recent, but the woman in Maternal Instinct is the name of the documentary on
We watched
Netflix.
That one too. Yeah, I knew the name. We watched it too.
Mm-hmm. And so I saw her, that happened in like 2021. And I saw that on Explore With Us back when I lived in Kentucky. So I started like looking through their true crime things, and it's all stuff that that has already been covered by the YouTubers. And now YouTube is going to the box office. We've had at least 2 box office releases from YouTubers just this year.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, Markiplier released he's another one who does the Let's Play type of thing. And apparently he's like popular with younger people, like teens and stuff, and like non-problematic. I don't know anything else about him, right? But apparently he's like somebody you can leave your kids with. He's got a podcast or whatever. But he played a game called Iron Lung that a lot of people loved. And it was a cool concept. I don't know shit about games. But he's self-financed and produced and wrote, directed, starred in this adaptation of the video game. And it's good. It's pretty good. You can tell he pays attention. You can tell he knows things about production or whatever. Super small cast. He's the only person that's ever fully on camera. There's 2 people we see through a little like portal because he's in an underwater craft, and then there's some voice actors over the radio. And they made bank basically. And then when it came time to release it, he released it independently. Didn't go through any of the streaming services. And I'm like, that's important. That could really change things. because the streaming services have had a fucking chokehold on creativity. I'm not going to be a boomer about it and say they've killed the movie industry or anything, because that's not accurate. A lot of things are killing the movie industry. And I love a lot of the streaming services. I love long form television. That's one of my favorite things in the world, is long form television and miniseries. Anyway, and the other one is The Backrooms. Both horror movies, interestingly.
Gotcha. We were going to go see that at the drive-in, but we decided to watch something else instead.
It's going to scare you, The Backrooms.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it, but the story of it, and it's one very specific interpretation of The Backrooms. The interesting thing about The Backrooms is that it's an internet meme. Goes back to the mid 2000s. It's from 4chan, and it was somebody just posted a picture on a board a thread where they were talking about liminal spaces, like liminal aesthetic. And somebody posted a picture of this like very mid 80s aesthetic blank office space, yellow, walls and stuff. And they were just like, you're in here and you hear something in the distance or something like that. And that's where The Backrooms comes from. Then they started to create all this lore about the different levels and what is in the backrooms. And then there's a wiki now, and people added levels and things. And there's even purists who are like, no, there aren't monsters in the backrooms. It's just a liminal thing. That's what's scary about it. It's interesting.
That really is. We're going to go see Supergirl this Tuesday because it's half price.
Hell yeah. Man, I should go see a movie. I've been leaving the house more. Now that I have my meds back, I might be better. They didn't have my ADHD meds, though. Can you tell?
Yeah, they're out of mine as well. I'm on Adderall. There's no secret about that. Yeah, and because I take two different ones. I take the extended release, and then I take the non-extended release. I take one first thing in the morning, and yeah, and Same. They're out of both of them. So luckily, I have enough for this week, but we'll see how it goes.
No, not me. I'm just raw dogging ADHD.
I'm also on Prestique. I don't know if you've heard of that one before.
No, something does need to be done, though, because they don't want to increase my Adderall dose because I have a heart defect. They found the same heart defect that's killing Mom. I'll probably cut this out. But while they were trying to figure out what was making me sick, they're like, oh, it's called leaky aorta.
Man.
Yeah. And he was like, you're not going to die of it tomorrow, but yeah, eventually you'll have congestive heart failure.
I'm sorry, dude.
I mean, they can treat it. You can try to be a healthier version of yourself while you're younger, which is really the best course of action for something like that. Because my mom did not do that. But also, like, something's going to kill all of us.
None of my aunts made it past the 50s. So I'm hoping that I just make it to 60 is all I'm hoping. So I can beat all of them because it's competition at this point.
Maybe. And that generation of, my mom and her siblings, many of them have lived longer than their parents did. So like the hope is that once this nightmare of an administration is over, we go back to trying to learn about science and health and stuff. And the other thing we would need to do is democratize medicine.
The United States is the only country participating in the World Cup that doesn't have socialized medicine.
I saw that. Yeah.
We're also one of 3 industrialized nations, the other 2 being Swaziland and Papua New Guinea, that don't offer government-funded maternity leave.
I was listening. Remember we were talking about Super El Nino? And yeah. I was listening to a climatologist talk about it this morning and know a little bit more about it. And I want to go back to precedented times a little bit more.
Right.
Getting fatigued with all of these things because it's going to cause like a famine basically next year.
Have you heard that LA, the fault that they're on is like at 1,000-year high or something?
Yeah, it is. It's gonna go like, and a lot of people at this point, people who live in California, they always kind of talk about the big one and joke about the big one. And man, is it overdue.
Yeah. Like Damn. By a lot.
Do you know that Kentucky, like I don't know what you would call it, per square foot has more faults than California?
I did not know that.
It's full of them. I think because it's at the foothills of the Appalachians. And because of it being, it has so many caves and rivers and underground water systems.
You said underwear.
I did. Oh, I put the link to the YouTube teleparty in the Slack. And
I also put my link, the first one that I want to start with.
Okay.
There we go. Oh, join the party.
There you are. So this came, Eric sent me this, and he found it on Twitter. There's an account that just tweets this over and over again, and I don't know why.
We're just normal men.
What do you mean, normal men?
We're just innocent men.
What are they doing? We're just innocent men. And there's like, people have asked them about the clip, the performers in that, and they were like, I don't know. Like the guy who was doing the puppet, he goes, I just did this thing. I asked her to get down real close. And listeners, if you haven't seen that clip, and I'll put a link to it in the episode description, it's a puppet and a human woman, and the clip opens with them nose to nose. She's bent down to be nose to nose to him. And so he was like, yeah, I just told her to get real close to the puppet. And then I said that, and she died laughing. And that was what he wanted, was to just crack her up. I think what's funny to me about it is the way she breaks. She wasn't expecting it. And this little snort when she laughs, I was like, he really got her. I love seeing somebody really get somebody. Like,
yeah,
that is a good joke right there, when you can just get them like that. And on TV.
I agree.
Okay, I can't remember if we were on the air or not, or if we were recording yet when you explained this clip. So you want to tell us why you picked this one?
So this clip was my mom's like favorite video for a long time. It was the first video that I remember like kind of going viral in my family. It's like the first YouTube video I ever saw. And it pops up every now and again. Not so much now that my mom died, but it would just make the family rounds sometimes. And again, it was my kind of first introduction to YouTube.
I can't believe it. It's my first blind date.
Oh, I do it all the time.
Really? Whew. You guys meet? Greg, Janice?
We sure did.
That was stupid.
Great.
This is Smart, a beeper service for just $1.99 a month. From who else? Smart Beep. Call 1-800-BEEP-199 for other smart stuff, like directions.
We've got chemistry here. You feel it?
I felt it.
All right, Janice.
Oh, man.
Okay, so it is very sophomoric humor, but I mean, my mom like cried laughing over it.
And what's incredible about this too is that it is also a real commercial.
Exactly.
Oh my God. I haven't seen that one. All right. This is the one I was telling you that I picked because I think you'll like it.
I have an announcement to make to y'all, to the people of America. I was at this here McDonald's on Dorset. It's Monday night. I was just disrespected in there. Almost got in a fight with the gal in there. First of all, my first issue is the drive-thru was filled all the way up, and I had to walk inside. So then I'm already mad because I got to get out my car and go inside. So I go inside. I politely say, "Hey, can I have a McRib meal? Large size with the Dr. Pepper." And the lady said, "Well, okay, that'd be $6.58. I said, "Ain't you forgetting something, ma'am?" And she said, "Well, what?" I said, "You're supposed to offer me the extra McRib for $1 when you buy the McRib meal." You ain't gonna believe it. She looked me up and down. And she said, "Well, it don't look like you need the extra McRib." Excuse me, bitch. I throw punch that bitch. I knocked her ass down. So if you come to the Dorset McDonald's and you see a lady named Charlene in there, tell her Carla sent you. And then you throw punch her or punch her in the cooter. I don't give a damn. This is against my civil rights. Yes. Fuck you, McDonald's. On Dorset. Not all the other ones. I like all the other ones.
This sounds like people from Bingo, I swear.
Well, and so that video is from 10 years ago now. It's been, and from a comedian named Libby Higgins. But that was early in her career, kind of the first time. She was active on Vine. She was one of those people who's really funny on Vine. But the number of people who thought that was real, right? They didn't know that was a character, was kind of surprising to me. She has a podcast too called Trailer Tales with a couple of other comedians. They're very funny. There's rumors that one or more of them is MAGA, but I, in my limited efforts, haven't been able to verify that because they don't really talk about serious things on their podcast. It's only jokes about being white trash.
Right.
But anyway, I enjoy her shit. Excuse me?
Excuse me? She reminds me of my old neighbor, Suzanne. But Suzanne thought she was high shit. She was a gym teacher. She was the lady I've told you about her before. When we moved to Bowling Green, the first thing she said to me was, honey, we got to get that weight off of you.
Oh, right.
I saw you posted you were 200 days smoke free, by the way. Congratulations.
Yep. Thank you.
I'm so proud of you.
Pretty crazy. It's more than half a year.
Yeah, that's fantastic. If you can make it a couple of years, you're going to be scot-free.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because you're still going to have a lot of cravings and stuff where you're at right now. But are you to where it smells awful? Have you gotten through that phase yet?
Yeah, I walked past somebody that was puffing away and I was like, ugh. It kind of burnt the inside of my nose, you know?
Yeah, that goes away. Thankfully, that goes away.
Okay.
It's not as bad as years, so. Because now it just reminds me of my mom and I kind of like how it smells.
Yeah. Maybe but I want you to be able to see it and we can't share screen. You know, maybe we'll do memes and social media and stuff on another episode and because there is social media on the Wheel of What Have You also. So that would work for that. But yeah. Well, I would be interested in hearing y'all's favorite YouTube stuff. Is there a channel you like? Is there a compilation you like? I like to watch things about spiders.
Ugh.
I don't know why. I'm just fascinated by them. They're just really cool. I don't know. It's weird. I would never have one.
My best friend hates spiders, and then her son came home with a giant tarantula. And when he moved out, he left the spider, and Tracy ended up taking care of it. And its name, what was its name? Tiffany. The spider's name was Tiffany.
It's not what I was expecting.
And it just passed away like a month ago.
Aw, all right.
Poor Tiffany.
I had a coworker that had a cat named Chicken, and I thought that was really funny.
Yeah, I had a cat named Ted, damn it.
Yeah. I don't know if I've really had too many. That I was about to say something so stupid that I haven't had weird pet names for my cats.
Yeah, you have a Brisket.
Brisket, beef.
I had one named Trance. We called him Trance in Your Pants.
I think it's that when you name an animal, it's no longer weird to you. It might be weird to other people, but Brisket never sounds weird to me until I have to tell somebody his name's Brisket.
Right.
And then I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, this is odd. And beef, he reminded me of a cow and was fat. So
I get it.
Yeah.
I've been calling Rufus this week.
Rufus
I've not settled on her nickname yet. Or if she has like a full name, it's going to be Rue DeBega, Dabega.
I've been calling her
Rutabaga.
Rutabaga. Yeah.
But Rufus has stuck this week. So
I'll either name it whatever word pops into my head, which is what happened with Brisket, or they'll be named after some book or TV show or movie. So Oscar and Felix are named after. Oscar is named after a book, a character in Extremely Loud and Incredibly Close, the narrator.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Felix is named Felix because Oscar was named Oscar, and they're the odd couple.
Got ya. I always let my animals name themselves. I keep them for a while, and then they tell me what their name is.
Yeah.
Like Ted, we named him because of TED Talks. That cat never shut up.
Right.
So his name was TED Talks, damn it, was his name. Today was Does That Dog Have Eyebrows Day.
Do you want me to post that on the Queer Next story?
Sure, go for
Yeah.
it.
The original post. Let's hear from this week's sponsor.
Okay.
So first, I want to recognize that this is not a universal experience. There are probably many folks who didn't have this experience growing up for various reasons. And maybe this experience is gone entirely for some of our younger viewers. I don't know. You'll have to let us know. But we are sponsored today by Family Game Night, the highly competitive tournament breeding mild resentment held right at the kitchen table on a rainy Friday night. This holler tradition of pulling a stack of taped up cardboard boxes out of the hall closet and trying to construct an evening of it out of sheer chaos was likely born out of the need to keep the youngins out of trouble of a weekend. The inventory is always a complete disaster. You've got several ancient sets of nearly complete card decks so you can play poker, but no one has ever seen the point in buying chips when there are so many different kinds of dried pasta in the cupboard. If somebody wants to play checkers, the board is missing half the set, so you're kinging milk jug caps with old washers. But the highlight of the night is the 1987 version of Trivial Pursuit. You just don't know the glory of playing a 20 years out-of-date trivia game that nobody stands a chance in hell of knowing anything about. There is little funnier than asking a teenager to identify the Secretary of State under the Reagan administration or name a Czech tennis player who retired before they were born, just to get a little plastic wedge. The pop culture category is basically just a list of people who died of old age 20 years ago. But every now and then, that 1987 box will absolutely throw you for a loop. You'll be sitting there under the fluorescent kitchen light, picking a history card, expecting a question about the construction of the Hoover Dam or some shit, and suddenly you get hit with a question about the Stonewall riots. Right there, between questions about Iran-Contra and the birthstone for October, the game drops a piece of queer liberation history on a family that hasn't even processed the fact that their uncle's roommate has been living there for a real long time. It is a beautiful, deeply awkward 5 seconds of absolute silence while your papa tries to figure out if Stonewall has something to do with Jackson. By hour 3, the dog has eaten the green wedges, your cousin has gone all in on a pair of jacks with a bowl of uncooked penne, and everybody is too tired to argue anymore, which is really the entire purpose of Family Game Night. So, Family Game Night, teaching country kids how to navigate high-stakes gambling and unexpected social history long before we had to deal with the real world. And now back to Queer Next, where our pasta is still uncooked.
See, we had a real life slot machine in my house.
Oh, wow.
My dad tracked down the first one my mom ever played and bought it, and it sat right outside my room.
Oh, yeah. You told me that. That is cool.
Yeah.
Did you have to use money to play it? How's
Quarters,
it work?
yeah. You had put quarters in it. Mom had a bucket of quarters that stayed in it, and you could play all you wanted. I had a cousin who was delayed, and he would sit there for hours and play that. And he'd hit the
Cool.
jackpot, and he'd love it. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. The whore that moved into my mom's house, they did something with it. It was not there when I moved back in last year.
Oh, man. That sucks.
Yeah,
You might be able to track it down on like eBay or something.
maybe. I couldn't prove that it was mine. There were no like papers or anything, you know.
Right. You know, mom had a giant, she had these, tons of mason jars and ball jars and things everywhere. And one of them was full of pennies. And it was like I don't know if it was a gallon, but it was one of those ones that was like a foot tall.
Yeah.
Which you're not supposed to keep pennies in those because they can explode, but whatever. And so we would play poker with those, but I don't know why, but sometimes we would also actually play with pasta, like different kinds of uncooked pasta that she kept in various jars.
My family, by the time I was old enough because I was the youngest, so by the time I was old enough to be playing games, I remember playing Pictionary with my brother-in-law one time, and I didn't know what a goatee was, and he got mad and quit playing. So
I think that I was really lucky to grow up having that experience. And some of my favorite memories are, because we really did, it was regular.
Well, we had card nights. My grandparents used to come over and play cards with my mom and dad every night when I was a kid.
Yeah.
But I didn't get to play in those games. But then once in a while, we have a whole family. We played this game called Oh Shit, which was kind of like an early predecessor to Phase 10. It was the same idea as Phase 10 with different rounds. And we used to play that as a family. So there was some card. And euchre, they used to play euchre Woo! They had a trophy for their euchre tournaments that they would pass back and forth. So that was our version, I guess. Do you know how to play euchre?
No.
It's very easy to learn.
I mean, I would like to. I like card games. We used to play those a lot too on family game night, especially as we got old enough to like do more complex math. Around the time I was probably, we still lived in the trailer park, so I would have been like under 10, under 11, and probably quite a bit younger than that. We started playing poker, and poker is like the intro, especially like 5-card draw. That's easy to learn the basic mechanics of how a card game works. But then as we got a little bit older, we played a lot of Rook, which uses a proprietary deck. You don't use a standard card deck for Rook. There's a game similar to Rook that does use a standard card deck called Setback. And the grown-ups would play that. I don't know why, because they're the same game, basically. But the grown-ups played Setback, but when they were with the kids, we played Rook.
Right.
I love Rook. I haven't played it.
I've never played that one.
Like 20 years. It's so good. It's such high-level strategy and reading people. But the thing about the Stonewall, that's real. That's how I learned about Stonewall, was from our out-of-date Trivial Pursuit game.
Oh, I didn't learn until like I got to like almost grad school.
Obviously, I'm not learning about it from the game, but that's the first time I heard about it. And
yeah,
even just the way the question was phrased, like, it was asking about like what kind of, what was the riot or action about, gay rights that took place, yada, yada. And so that was the first time as a kid I actually even thought that such a thing might happen, that gay rights were a thing, that places gay people hung out were a thing.
Right. I just didn't think about gay stuff until I got out of high school. Like I knew deep in my heart, because I had feelings for particular people that I knew my other friends weren't having the same kinds of feelings. But I wouldn't let myself come to grips with that because it was so scary in high school back then.
Yeah. Man, I had such intense crushes.
Yeah, me too.
But the girl that I wound up like actually kind of dating in high school was the only person not the only person I dated. I had boyfriends, but she was a straight girl and she ruined my senior year. It was, I can't say that I wish I hadn't dated her because I learned a lot about stuff, I guess, but my God, did she ruin my life? Because she started dating my best friend. And
oh no.
So my best friend Ben, like she left me for him on prom night. It was like a fucking teen movie.
Yeah, I didn't know early enough to go to prom with, though I did go to prom with gay people, just gay men.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
What'd you do?
Just ripped off half my fingernail.
What?
Yeah.
Are you a fingernail biter?
So I was for a long time. And then after my mom died, I just quit for, whatever reason. And so I've got 8 perfectly good nails. Like I have to trim them to keep them short now. And then I've got these 2 that I've been fucking with. And then this one, I don't know if you can see it, but I tore the whole.
Oh, ooh. I can feel that. Stop touching it. I can see you picking at it right now. Put your hands in your pockets. Sit on your hand. I've never been a nail biter because my nails are indestructible. I would break a tooth trying to.
Yeah.
I have to cut them every other day.
I cut mine about twice a week usually because they grow out so fast now. And used to, I didn't think my nails grew at all because I just would tear them off because I was a biter first and then I became a picker. And picking was worse because you like rip off. Yeah. Like that is gone. Like that, I have almost no nail left on that.
You were like, why don't my nails grow?
Yeah. Yeah. Pretty much.
I feel bad for people who have, because I've never been a nail biter, like I said, but I have picked at my cuticles and chewed on my cuticles before as a kid. I would chew them things back to the knuckle. Sorry if this is triggering anything to anybody listening, because some folks, man, they got it bad with nail biting.
Yeah.
And that would suck because of the way, like when you break a nail off too short, it hurts to touch things. You can't do shit.
Right. Meow.
Can you hear her?
Yeah.
I don't know which. Sometimes they get treats in the afternoon, so that may be what she's after. Maybe.
I have everybody shut out of the room. So,
Well, I'm in the hallway. So, did you bring a noun of Appalachian interest?
good. This week's noun is a person.
Ooh.
All right. Today's noun of Appalachian interest is Dr. Henry Louis Gates Jr. Now, I know many of you will say, who? But you probably know him from the PBS show Finding Your Roots, where he sits across from famous people with a book and somehow makes genealogy feel like both a family reunion and a courtroom drama. He'll look somebody straight in the eye, turn a page, and suddenly they find out their great something was out here causing trouble in 1847. And I respect that. Everyone needs to be reminded sometimes that we all come from a long line of troublemakers. But before Dr. Gates became the man on PBS gently wrecking celebrities with census records, he was a kid from West Virginia. He was born in Kaiser and grew up in Piedmont, a small town tucked in the mountains along the Potomac River. Piedmont was a paper mill town, the kind of place where everybody knew your people, your business, your mammal, and probably what time you turned your porch light off. Appalachia is often talked about like it only has one story, one accent, one experience, one kind of family. And you and I both know that has never been true, no matter how many outsiders believe it. Dr. Louis Henry Gates Jr. is part of Black Appalachia, and Black Appalachia is not a side note. It is part of the region's history, its labor, culture, music, schools, churches, neighborhoods, and memory. You do not get to tell a story of Appalachia and leave that out just because somebody watched one documentary and decided we were all barefoot extras in a Coal Camp remake. Dr. Gates went on to become one of the most important scholars in African and African American studies. That field is deeply connected to American cultural studies because it asks how race, language, literature, history, and identity shape the country that we live in. And yes, I did just say American cultural studies on a podcast that also spent serious time discussing gas station chicken that we have arranged. His work reminds us that culture is not just paintings in a museum or some old book nobody wants to read unless there's a quiz. Culture is what people remember. It's what families pass down. It's what gets hidden, what gets saved, and what gets whispered, and what somebody finally says out loud at Thanksgiving after too much sweet potato pie. That is why Finding Your Roots works so beautifully. It's not just about famous people learning they are related to kings or moonshiners or somebody who had 18 children and apparently no hobbies. It was about how history lives in regular families. You could find it in family names, old homesteads and hometowns, and the stories that have been passed down and the stories that nobody is allowed to tell. There's a few of those in every holler. But people from this region know what it means to carry a place with you. You can leave the mountain, the mill town, the holler, the riverbank, but it has a funny way of packing itself in your suitcase without asking permission. Dr. Gates spent his career showing that the past is not dead weight. It is a map. Sometimes it's messy or painful. Sometimes it shows you something beautiful that your family almost lost. And sometimes it tells you that your people were much more interesting than anybody gave them credit for. And that's the part I love. One of the best known voices in the study of Black history and culture. That does not make him an exception in Appalachia. It makes him part of the truth of Appalachia. So today we honor Dr. Henry Louis Gates, the Appalachian noun, who reminds us that family stories are never simple, history is never finished, and that West Virginia has produced more than pepperoni rolls, country roads, and people who can give directions using buildings that burned down in 1983. Thank you, Dr. Gates.
Hell yeah. Love. The first time I heard of him was in my master's program, and we read The Signifying Monkey. Have you read that?
Nope.
It's from 1988. And so I like it. I'm a structuralist. I'm a post-structuralist. I love structuralism. And so he's like signifying when used in Afro-American cultural criticism. Describes kind of tropes like metonymy, metaphor, double talk, and it's a way of indirectly referencing something. So an example that he gave was the way in African-American vernacular you can show affection for someone through the construct of an insult. But it comes from doubling the term off of Ferdinand de Saussure's construct of signification, which is basically the relationship between a sign and what it signifies, basically, is like how we express meaning. Anyway, that is just to say that he is brilliant, and everybody should read Signifying Monkey. Have you heard of Affrilachia?
Yeah, I follow them.
Oh, is it
There's a page. It's Affrilachian. It's an artist and a poet.
Oh, okay. So the person who coined the term is named Frank X. Walker, and it It refers to the kind of culture created by people who arrived in Appalachia via the slave trade or the Underground Railroad, right? Like people of those experience. And so he coined it because he's a poet. And he taught. I've taken courses with him. He taught at EKU when I was in undergrad.
Neat.
Before he was famous. This was before the Affrilachia, the idea of it as a cultural expression took off.
That's amazing.
Everybody should read Frank X. Walker. I don't wonder where he's at now. He's from Danville, Kentucky.
That's around Pikeville, isn't it?
No, Danville's central Kentucky.
Ah.
Walker coined the term Affrilachia, signifying the importance of the African-American presence and influence in Appalachia. He was Poet Laureate of Kentucky from 2013 to 2015. Where are you teaching right now, Frank? Maybe he's not teaching. Maybe he learned under Gurney Norman. Have you ever read any of his stuff? He died recently, but he was also a very big deal, to Kentucky and to writing in general. I'll put some links to Frank's stuff. I'm going to put a bunch of stuff for people to study up on if they want to. And Beck will put it in the newsletter this week, too. Oh, well, we got to spin this wheel and see what our homework is for next week.
Okay. This YouTube one really threw me for a loop. I was watching YouTube videos on end and I couldn't. That's why I went with the one that I went with, because it started everything, right? Because it was such a broad thing, a YouTube video that kind of meant something. And there's like, where do you go with that? That's the way that I interpreted it. And so that's why I went with, the first one that I remember.
Yeah. Oh, damn. It landed on social media. Yeah. And, if next time it lands on it, maybe it'll be easier to just bullshit come up with something. I thought it was fun. I hadn't seen that before.
Overthink things. Yeah, I overthink things too. So
that's relatable, though. All right. So social media. Well, your favorite memes or stories or pages or things you learned, unexpected stuff, anything about social media.
Okay. Well, I did an academic project on social media on a page called You Might Be from Portsmouth, Ohio, If. And as a site of public memory, it's one of the YouTube videos that I have on my channel. And I watched it the other day and it was pretty good. I had forgotten how much work I put into that particular project. But it was neat to see Facebook used as a site of serious academic work.
Oh, yeah. I think I told you about that ethnography I did of the zombie survivalist groups. I can see why people get hooked on that kind of research. Ethnography is fun, especially like immersive ethnography. Yeah.
I learned all about that in my anthropology thematic sequence as an undergrad.
I didn't learn anything about research until grad school. We did not know that kind of research.
We had this assignment. We had to pick somebody from the community and write a project on them. Like it had to be like a 40-page project. So I did all this work on my my landlord. He was this guy he was the last person to play both first string for the basketball team and the football team for Ohio State. He was on both in the 50s. And so I wrote this whole thing about him. I had to actually write 2 papers because there was the paper that I gave him. And then there was the paper where I wrote about what a piece of shit he was for the community at the same time, right? Because he bought up everything and was a slumlord.
Yeah.
And so I did all this work and I did transcription and I did hours of typing and I did interviews and all this and all that came back. He said if we wanted our projects back to let him know. And I was like, yeah, I want it back for the feedback, And he had 1 word suggestion and gave me an A. And that was all he did on my 40-page project. I was bitter.
That's fucked up, man.
Yeah. He ended up getting fired from Miami. So, haha.
Right. Yeah. I don't know.
It's common knowledge. Dr. Cinnamon was an Africanist and Dr. Gladish was a botanist. And Dr. Cinnamon went to Africa on a research study and he brought some plants back and one of them was psychoactive and Dr. Gladish knew it and grew it in the greenhouse anyway that's there on campus. And it got turned in and they both got fired. And they were my 2 least favorite professors ever at Miami. Dr. Gladish is the only one that ever made me cry.
Oh.
He was the worst. Like, as somebody who is a professional educator now, he was the worst. Like, he would teach you A, B, and C and then test you on E, D, and F. Like there just was no correlation to what he would do. His big mistake was he gave us access to all of his files on Canvas, and I don't think he realized he had a copy of all of his exams and quizzes if he dug hard enough. So I ended up getting an A in that class. He said we could access his files, so I did. I just didn't tell him what was in there. That was his dumbass for not knowing what was in there,
I mean, you found the resource and you used it.
I bet he wondered how I was doing so well in his class, because everybody else, that was one of those classes that 80% of the class fails and everybody else gets a C. And I'm sitting there getting an A. I'm sure I drove
you're
him
the
crazy.
only one that found them?
Yeah, well, I shared it with Shanna. So, because we took botany together as undergrads. I saved it to my very last set of classes that I had to take because I'm not a science person at all.
I didn't take botany.
Well, you could take like botany or you take biology or, so I took botany and geology for the science classes that I took. I didn't want to take like human biology or anything like that.
I mean, I took a lot of science courses because I think I said like I accidentally minored in biology, but I just kept taking bio classes. I did take geology because you have to take more than just bio for the gen ed requirement. So I took economic plants, but it wasn't about botany. It was actually a really interesting course about how agriculture creates society and such. Weird dude teaching the course. But the first day he wheels in this cart full of essential oils, which are just oils expressed from various plants. And we just spent the whole class smelling stuff.
In my botany class, the professor was an adjunct. And so she she tried real hard. I'll give her that. It was not a great class. It felt very high school. She ended up quitting and going to teach high school anyway. But we had this one demonstration where she went to Jungle Gyms and got like 30 different kinds of fruit we had never tried, including durian fruit. And we got to try all kinds of little things.
You've tried durian?
I have. It's disgusting.
God. Yeah. That's the one that you're not allowed to take to like the airport or eat in certain places because it smells so bad. Yeah,
you can buy it at Jungle Gyms though.
What does it smell like?
Gasoline and vomit mixed together.
So is sheets.
Basically, yeah. Like it was foul, like totally foul.
Well, now I know. I don't have to experience myself then.
Before.
You what?
I've pet a sloth.
Cool.
One of the weddings that I did in Cincinnati, the girl worked at the Cincinnati Zoo and she had her reception there. She had her wedding in this gorgeous Catholic church. Like it was the most beautiful temple I've ever been in. And then she had a reception at the zoo. And because she was a zookeeper, they brought a whole parade full of animals. They had penguins. There were, what are they called? Ostriches, not ostriches, flamingos. That's what I was trying to come up with. And a sloth and a monitor lizard and all kinds of interesting stuff. But the petting the sloth was my favorite part.
Are they soft?
Yes. Well, they're kind of wiry. Like
they look kind of wiry.
Yeah. Kind of like a chihuahua. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
I used to want to pet a koala until I learned that they all have chlamydia.
Yeah.
Now I'm good.
That'll do it.
They're debaucherous.
When the pandemic came around, we started watching YouTubers that smoked weed a lot because it was just, was interesting. But there's lots of weed tubers out there. But one of the most popular is this girl called Koala Puffs. And I think about that sometimes when we see her material. I wonder if she doesn't know that.
Maybe not. The first, what we would consider content creator I ever was aware of was Jenna Marbles. That is millennial humor right there, Jenna Marbles. And she still has a lot of fans. I know they're out there, so please don't hate us for me saying that. Like, you have to agree that is millennial humor. And I appreciate millennial humor, but I also can see why she's not making content anymore, because these fucking young ones all they do is drama. There's a whole genre of content on YouTube that is drama. They call themselves drama tubers. Can you imagine if that was your job? What are these kids made of?
No, I cannot. And I teach college freshmen.
I know something I should. I'm just going to send you this because it's too long to put on the show. But there's a YouTube video that also makes me laugh a lot. We're going to remember a bunch of shit that we should have put on here.
Yeah.
Listeners, tell us your favorite YouTube video.
We could do a show of listener requested YouTube videos.
I
if
would
we-
love that. I would love,
Yeah.
send us your stuff in. If we get enough, we will react to your YouTube videos. So we could even go live and do that. React to YouTube videos on YouTube.
That'd be great.
That would be real fun.
Mailbag@queerdex.com.
Correct.
Or comment on any of our podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts.
Yep. You can comment on YouTube if you listen there. You can comment on Spotify. I don't know if you can comment on Apple. And if you haven't, we haven't asked this in a while, subscribe if you're listening to us and leave us a 5-star review wherever you listen. That helps us out, helps other people find us. You know, we're a weird bunch. We don't come up organically for a lot of people's algorithms. We're a hard
You mean people
sell.
aren't searching queer Appalachia?
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't come up. I haven't quite yet cracked the keyword puzzle for whatever it is we do here. So any help y'all can give, if you think somebody will find us funny, send the link to them. Have a good week. Pride Month may be coming to an end, but we love you and we're proud of you anyway, and we'll stay that way.
Amen.
So be good and say hi to your mom and them.
Bye.